Okay, so let's gonna start. Welcome to the webinar Citizen Science, an educational tool for Blue Schools with MINKA platform. My name is Eli Bonfill, and I'm an oceanographer and science communicator. And I'm working in the Institute of Marine Sciences, a research center in Barcelona, Spain, which is the most important marine research center in Spain and one of the most important in the Mediterranean Sea. And I'm here with my colleague Meritxell Turó. She's a biologist and journalist, and she's the communication and project management expert. And we are working in two European projects that are called ProBleu and MINKA, because our research group called EMBIMOS is specialized on citizen science. And we are the ones who are developing the MINKA platform. So today we're going to tell you how this platform will be a tool that you can use in your schools. We are the coordinators of a European project called ProBleu, as I told you, and which aim is to promote blue schools in Europe and associated countries. And one of the main pillars of ProBleu is the open schooling. The open schooling is this kind of pedagogical approach that wants that the school stays in contact with the community, with NGOs, with the city, with the associations around, with the companies. The idea is to connect the society around the school with the school, to share knowledge in both directions and connect the school with what's happening around this school. And another pillar of ProBleu is the citizen science, which idea is to foster, to increase the participation of people in the research, no matter if they are scientists or they have knowledge about science. The citizen science promotes this participation because every one of us can support science and can offer things to science. So in ProBleu, what we do is to combine this both with this bold approach, and we try to promote several citizen science platforms and projects, and one of them is MINKA, which is the one that we develop in our research group. As I told you before, citizen science wants this promote this idea, that people can do science without having this basic knowledge of science, because you can collaborate taking data, you can ask questions to scientists, or maybe you can help in the co-design of different scientific approach or scientific experiments. And it's very important because maybe some of you are going to the field every day or every week to a place, and you can observe things that scientists cannot observe because we don't go daily or we don't have budget to go daily there. So it's very important this data that can be taken by the general public, the people in general that go to the field and see things and perceive changes, for example. No? So in this in citizen science, people is actively contributing to this science, sometimes with their knowledge, but sometimes with the effort of taking data, sometimes providing tools, for example, because there's people that it's good at providing, creating equipments or different instruments, do-it-yourself instruments, for example. So everyone can contribute to the citizen science as they can. And it's important because in this process, you give knowledge to scientists and to science, but you also learn during the process. This is what is more important for us, that you can learn. If you share data about, imagine, a species, and that you don't know what it is, but you have the answer of a scientist that tell you, oh, thanks, this is this species. You learn in this process. So it's just not only given to science give you to you. So we do what we do is that research is more democratic, and also this data can help politicians to take decisions based on the data, based on the evidence. Okay. So maybe you know some different citizen science platforms, like these ones that we are showing you, like the ones that are taking data about biodiversity or air quality control or human health risk. There are a lot of different platforms of citizen science platforms that help us to address different challenges that we have in our world. And MINKA is one of these. That my colleague will explain a little bit in depth.
Yes, MINKA is a citizen science platform recognized by the UNESCO. So, podes traer todo el mundo, porfis. Sama cosa, pues. And something important is that MINKA is being developed by ourselves, so by our research team based in Barcelona. Our servers are in Europe, and we are complying with GDPR, but it's not always the case if you are working with tools that are hosted in the States, for example. So it's worth it to do this disclaimer. MINKA, you can work on MINKA through the web and the app. Also, it's a free platform, and it's already available in 12 languages. We are working collaboratively with different communities to add even more translations. And well, how does it work? MINKA allows to record biodiversity observations to collect information about your area, for example, and to interact with other users to identify species, comment about the records you have, questions, etc. In some numbers, as you can see, this is a quick snapshot of what we have achieved so far. So more than 18,000 users, almost 670,000 observations, and more than 12,000 species already recorded, not only by school communities for sure, but we think that there's a potential for schools to introduce citizen science and MINKA as an approach to work with your students. So let's take a look about what is the MINKA observation journey. So what happens when you record an observation to the platform? So users, that can be students or maybe one teacher, you go all to the study area. That can be a river, a beach, a park near from your school, or even your own playground. And then you take pictures of organisms that you find with the phones, tablets, or cameras. After, you have to share these pictures that we call observations on the platform, uploading it. And when doing that, if you know already the species, you can enter the name. And if not, you can do a bit of research with the students to try to find which species is this one. And if not, other students help to identification, other users of the platform. Once this data is validated, this data gets the status of research grade, and that it means that it has been validated by other users and also reviewed by our experts, and it can go to the global biodiversity repositories as GBIF, for instance, and contribute to real scientific studies. But also you as a community, as users of the platform, you can use your data to compare results, ask new questions, and maybe decide what to investigate next. What we think that it's interesting, especially working with schools, is that students can be involved and also motivated, participating of different roles that the platform offers. For example, students can be more motivated to be the facilitators of the activities. So, I mean, organize the community data collection, or maybe organize the little trips or the activities on the field. Also by taking pictures as observers. Also doing this task of research that I was talking before, to try to see which species we have been in contact with and we have been recording. and also acting as analyzers, understanding results, tracking trends, and making comparisons, and so on.
So if you like what Minka can offer to you, you can start using Minka easily because it's a really easy to use platform. The first thing you have to do is to create an email address for your classroom or for your school, depending on the group of which are you working. With this email, you have to create a Minka user account. You go to the website, to the top on the right side, and you will find the login or sign up option. So you go to sign up, and you can see that it's really easy because we only ask you the email, a username, and a password. And then with this, you have created an account, and you can start using it. What you should do, go to the field. Go to the beach, the river, the lake, the canyon, wherever in the nature or in the city, because in the city we have a lot of nature also, and take pictures with your students to all the biodiversity that you see there. And it doesn't matter if it's a very common species or a really difficult to see species. Everything can be uploaded to Minka. Okay, that is everything that is natural and not a picture of a cat or a dog. Flowers, animals, whatever. And all these pictures should be uploaded to the platform. And then when you have them uploaded, you should identify or try to identify as many species as you can. At the level of you can do it. Maybe you don't know which species it is, but you know that it's a plant or that it's a crustacean or that it's a fish. So you can tell what you know, what your students know. Okay, this is a nice process to do with your students to see their knowledge of biodiversity. And then when you have uploaded your pictures, what you have is this, your data that it can be viewed as a map or as a grid, as you can see here in the picture, or as a list. And you will see all the species, all the pictures that you have uploaded to Minka. And then one of the nice things is that you can filter if you go to the top on the right side, and you can filter if you only want to see, imagine the fishes. You go to the category fishes, you look for the design of a fish, you click there, and the only you will see will be the fishes that you have uploaded. Or you only want plants or jellyfishes or crustaceans, you can select and see the kind of observations that you want to see. Okay, so this can help you to do activities with your students from these pictures that you have uploaded to Minka. One of the nice things for schools is that in Minka you can create your own school project or a common project between different schools. So in this case, imagine you can create I don't know, a competition, no? The biodiversity in my village. Imagine in Barcelona, biodiversity in Barcelona beaches or in Barcelona forest. So you engage other schools or other classes to participate, and every one of the schools or classes should have an account. So they need to create again an email address to create this Minka user account. And this is important because in our platform we are trying to protect minors' privacy, so minors cannot create their own user account. It should be always a class account or a school account. And then you have to decide which will be your observation area, which beach, a river, your village, your region, and you should define which will be your school project area and go to the Google Earth and look for this area and create a KML document that we need to upload them to Minka to select your area of work. And then what you create is a collaborative project in MINKA. And you should write a project name, for example, what we tell, the biodiversity of my village. You can create an icon of the project, you can upload the banner of the project, you can change the background color, and the most important, a summary of your project, explaining this is a project to collect biodiversity data of the village of Barcelona, and it's participating the students of sixth grade of the school, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you write all the details that are important for people to know what's your project about and who is involved in this project. And then there are several details, project details that you can do. For example, you can do a closed project where only some specific users can upload data there. For example, if you are collaborating with several schools or several classes, you can put all their users, so you can restrict which users can upload data in your project. Or if you want to involve your whole village, imagine that you want to involve the families to take data and participate. You can let it open, and everybody that uploads a picture in your observation area will be uploaded to your project. So then you will have a web of your project, like this one, for example. And what you should do is to go to the field and take a lot of pictures of biodiversity. And as I told you before, try to identify with your students as much as you can. Or maybe you can collaborate with scientists around you to help you to identify and do some kind of workshop to start with your students learning how to identify a species. And what you will have will be some statistics like these ones you can see. You will have the pictures of the last pictures uploaded in the platform, but also you will have who will be the users that uploaded the most of observations, who are the users that uploaded most of the species. So there's a ranking, who is more motivated or who is best identifying species or looking for new species. And also a list of the species from the most observed to the less. So you have a list of all the species that you have seen or your students have seen in your observation area, which is very interesting because with this, we can go, for example, to our city government and tell them, look, there's a lot of biodiversity around our school or in our beach. Let's do something together. Let's prepare some outreach materials to disseminate what we found with our students. So there's a lot of possibilities with this data. And these are some examples of some Catalan schools here around us that create projects. You can see that there are projects very different. The first one is a secondary school taking pictures of marine biodiversity in their beaches. The second one is a primary school that are taking pictures of a dry river that is next to the school. They went with the families also on a Saturday to take pictures all together. That it was an amazing activity. And the third one is a vocational school that is taking pictures of biodiversity and beaches and also rivers and forests around all their school trips. So they can be used in different school contexts. And as you have seen, MINKA is a really good educational tool because it can help you to do a different kind of learning, more experiential. And also, if you want to work the Sustainable Development Goals, it's a good tool because it's focused on this. And you can promote the contact with the community because the students can engage the community to participate in the activities, to take pictures, for example. And also you can use it in different subjects. It's not only useful for the biology subject. You can use it in other, for example, in mathematics or in statistics, and use the data to analyze it and take some conclusions from the data taken. or in art, using the pictures that you have taken, for example. So it can be used for different subjects. It also is a good tool to help your students to interact with scientific experts, because you can contact your research centers, the research centers that are around you, or NGOs specialized on natural sciences around you, and they can learn from them, and it could be a good process to promote this interaction. And also with the families, as I told you, you can create events to make families be involved in the activities of the school. So it's a good opportunity. And the results can help at the local level, because you obtain data that can be interesting for your government or your city government, for example. But also these data are going to the scientific community, so it has a global impact, which is very interesting also. We prepare several resources that it can be very useful for you on how to use MINKA. There is one about how to identify species in the platform, how to upload the data, how to look for things in MINKA, how to translate it if you want to translate the platform to your language because it's not there, how to create projects, to send over to these links that we will send to you after this presentation, and you will have all these different steps very detailed there.
And after all this theoretical information, I would like to briefly also highlight some additional impacts that MINKA can achieve through the involvement of local communities, especially schools. So the first case is the Escola Congrés Indians in Barcelona. I know that some people in the room knows already these examples. I apologize for those that already know. But to put you in context for the others, so every class from 2nd to 6th grade go out, no matter the weather, at least once a month. And they always revisit the same beach and the same stretch of the river. And this is a zone that is kind of 30 minutes trip on public transport. So it's not a very expensive outing. As they return to the same place during all the year, the students start spotting trends on their own and seeing which species comes and go. And also they are working on litter, so they can see how litter fluctuates, but also the beach, the sun, vegetation, and so on is changing during the year. This is the fit of their MINKA projects. Normally, the school run this outing on their own, but sometimes they organize workshops with NGOs, and we have been personally participating with because we are based in Barcelona. So in this case, was more easy to collaborate. For the material, each class has about 25 students, and they are sharing 6 cameras. And in addition, they ask all kids to bring any extra cameras they have at home, or hand lenses, even binoculars, and so on. Yeah, so the learning doesn't stop there, because back to the school, they reuse also the pictures that they are taking for ocean literacy tasks. And like Ellie was explaining before, for instance, the picture on the top of the slide shows a scientific drawing practice, and down it's a math and statistics exercise. So they are working in more subjects than only biology, right? And well, here the surprise, the very big surprise for all students and even for us, the scientific team that is behind of the platform. They already hold 2 official first records, because during a beach pollution workshop, the 4th-degree students spot a pipefish and a teeny crab that have never been documented in the city before. So it was really exciting for the students to hold this record and this discovery. And thanks to this activity, the school has been accredited as a Blue Schools, and Ellie will talk to you about this accreditation later on. This other example is run by Escola Boramar in Barcelona too, but with a program twinning with the International School of Split in Croatia, and it has been a project supported by ProBleu grants. And what they have been doing is during 1 year, 12 months, students have been running monthly snorkels and beach cleanups to take pictures and identify coastal species. And after they have been exchanging the data sets between the two classes from Croatia and Barcelona. So they have been doing a work of hypothesis, which species you are seeing more, why did you have already observed this one, etc. And so it has been the opportunity to talk also about this shared seas, one school, one community from different coasts, right? And the school have been also recognized with the Blue School accreditation thanks to this project. And the last example we wanted to highlight is a non-marine case from this EU-funded project Arsinoe that was led by the University of Thessaly. Since 2023, 42 schools have been mapping urban biodiversity, and they have logged more than 9,000 observations of almost 1,400 species. The project started in Athens, but has already spread to Thessaloniki and Kalamata and other cities. And what they could do in this project, as they had a budget, is that they proposed 10,000 euros in prices like cameras, field trips, iPads, and this kind of material that can be used really on the project for the most engaged schools. Here is to show a little bit the results because are quite impressive, because during the project, the students have detected 14 invasive species that had never been recorded in Greece before. So the scientific output, as you can see, it was also amazing. And also they have been contributing to the Arsinoe project results. What do you see in the slide is on the left is the Athens map in terms of biodiversity, and the middle one is with socioeconomic indicators. And what they have been doing is they have overlapped these maps with other reference to finally identify the parts of the city where urban changes using nature-based solutions would be most beneficial for the city. For instance, to lower temperatures during the heat waves. So also impressive results.
One of the things we are preparing in the European projects that we are working on are some kind of challenges. So if you are a school that are in the Atlantic and Arctic area, we are preparing the Faros Collaborative Challenge, which is under the Faros European project. And the idea is to census aquatic biodiversity in beaches, rivers, lakes, different water masses. So I recommend you to stay tuned, because we will open very soon this challenge, and it's the idea is that we will promote that the schools go to the field to take pictures of this biodiversity, this aquatic biodiversity, and we are preparing some educational materials that you can use to develop this collaborative challenge, because we don't want you to compete, we want you to join efforts to try to monitor the biodiversity that is around your schools in the Atlantic and Arctic basin, because it's the scope of this. This you recommend you to take a look to the social media of Faros, but also as you are subscribed, you are registered to this project, to this webinar, we will send you all the information to encourage you to participate on this challenge.
Yeah, and some more ideas too, because we are arriving to the end of this meeting, but we want to share with you some other outputs and ideas to motivate you to use MINKA and your students. So in this case, we wanted to present what I have here for real. I don't know if you can see it well. But in this case, the volunteers' pictures uploaded on the MINKA platform has been used to create this book that is a participatory guide about the fish and other species that you can find along Barcelona beach. This is sent today on libraries and available on shops also, and it's used by stakeholders still today. And while it's something to be proud of, and all contributors are recognized on the book, and while it's a very interesting example. Another one, so with the same data, now we are feeding a public tool run by the Barcelona City Council that documents flora and fauna. And before we did this action, this tool only compiled birds and insects species. So thanks to the work on MINKA that has been also contributed by several schools and students, today we have 3 marine species lawyers in this tool. Also, when we are working on this kind of projects and results, we are helping to change a little bit the perception about the beaches. Well, we need to say that, of course, MINKA, it can be used for all nature landscapes, lakes, rivers, etc. But we are talking about marine because you know that we have this little bias of marine because we are the Institute of Marine Science. So here I am talking specifically about the perception that we have about the beach, that sometimes here it looks like the beach is a place to have fun, sunbathing, play beach volley, and so on. And thanks to this kind of project and data, we help to do not forget that beaches are also ecosystems to take care of. And well, finally, crucial for today's discussion, we think that MINKA can help keep students motivated by combining this file work, maybe digital skills according the school and according the law in each country, but also the research and community links that you can develop using this tool. And as we assume that you are all teachers or at least working with students, you know how hard the motivation can be. So we believe that citizen science can be really part of the answer.
So with all this information that we have given to you, you can create, for example, your Blue School project if you are not already a Blue School. If you don't know what's a Blue School, yeah, it's a school that engages students with ocean and water related topics, promoting this project-based learning and this open schooling approach that we told you before, with the idea to make your students more aware and more connected to the ocean, to rivers, to lakes. Okay, if we want them to protect them, they should be more connected. So Blue Schools promote this. And one of the things that we want to do is to help you to promote, to create your Blue School project with this citizen science approach. So we encourage you to take a look to this website, which is the website of the Network of European Blue Schools, where you can see exactly what's a blue school, which are the criteria that you should address to be a blue school, and how it's the process to do it if you are not a blue school by the moment. But we also have some other ideas to propose you that can be interesting for you. I know that MINKA is a super useful tool, and I hope all of you use it in the near future. But also, we have other extra ideas to suggest you. For example, if you are doing some kind of STEM project related to the understanding and the protection of seas or aquatic ecosystems, you can apply for the Scientix Awards that are open until the 13th of April. We, as ProBleu, are funding one of these awards, that is the TIDES Award. This is the focus on the, no, it's a recognizing, it's an award that is recognizing outstanding activities that promote this ocean literacy or this water literacy and this marine awareness. So if you are doing some kind of project like that, or they can fit in this criteria, you can try to apply. And winners will be invited to attend a science projects workshop that will be in Brussels. So it's a good opportunity to visualize, to show what you are doing in your school related to this topic. Also, we are organizing in May a mega event in Ireland, the 25, 26, 27 of Ireland, if I don't remember bad. And we will organize a Pharos event, this project that I told you before, about marine restoration, ocean literacy, and blue economy. So if you are in Ireland, let's join us in this mega event. It will be also a workshop about blue schools. So we want that if you are there, you can participate. Also, if you like this kind of events regarding to monitoring of biodiversity, and you are in Catalonia, the north of Portugal, or the south of France, you can participate in long-lasting BioBlitz events organized with our platform, with MINKA. Let's check this website. And if you are close to these areas, you can contact us and we will explain you how to participate in these events, because there are massive events that last from May to October to monitor the biodiversity around these areas, and schools can have an important participation for sure. And the last thing, but not the less important, is that remember that you can apply to be a Blue School until the 13th of May if you fit the 5 compulsory criteria. So let's check the Blue School's website. Because when you become a Blue School, you are part of a big network of more than 1,300 different schools all around Europe and associated countries, but also it's a global movement with hundreds and hundreds of blue schools all around the world that are working together to promote this ocean literacy, this water literacy between students, and trying to create projects together that can help our water resources. And don't forget to follow us in social media. If you want to know more about MINKA and what we are doing with our platform, you can go to our Instagram account or you can send us an email. And please, let's go to the website and create your user to start using it, because as you have seen, it's very easy. And we recommend you to test it before doing it with your students. Do your own account, go to an excursion to the field, try to take some pictures with the phone, and then try to upload it to see how it works, how easy it is a platform. And then let's do your own MINKA project, or your own user account in MINKA with your classroom. And if you have some doubts and you want to know more about MINKA and citizen science, or you want to participate in some of the events that we have explained you before, you can contact us to our emails and we will be open to answer your questions as soon as we can. So what we can do now is to close the presentation and open the phone. If some of you have some questions or some suggestions, or maybe you are doing already something with MINKA that you want to share it with the audience.
May I say something? Hello, it's me, Milena from Bulgaria, Botlevgrad. It was very useful presentation and meeting. Nevertheless, we have just finished our first project under ProBleu institution. So as I can say, and I would like to share my experience with the audience, that our colleagues and teachers and students, and I can say the whole community in our town was involved, and we were very pleased to work under this project. So my colleagues that teach science would like to apply for the second time next month. So I would advise all the audience here in the meeting to apply, to try. It's worth it to be part of ProBleu. Yeah, thank you very much for this chance we had.
And thank you to you, because it's super nice to see how teachers like you are super motivated and the greatest things you have done in your projects. It's amazing for us, no, to see, and also how students are enjoying and learning in the process, no?
Even NGOs, even the mayors from other villages and in the region were involved. And we have a new youth center that was involved too, and did some activities under our project.
It's nice, no? How the projects that we do in school can impact in the community too. No? This is the idea of the open schooling, no? How we can make more impact of what we do at school.
It was great,
So
really
thank
great.
you.
Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you. Mary is sharing the links of everything in the chat. So if you are not looking into the chat, let's take a look. You will find all the links we shared. Some questions. You can write it in the chat if you want, or you can open your microphones and do it. Don't be shy. And then if you have, maybe when you are calm at home and you can review a little bit, and if you have more questions, you can send us an email. Don't worry, we will answer all the questions. We can help you to develop your MINKA project, how to create it. Or we can put you in contact with other schools, maybe if you want to do something with another school. No question? This is because you're playing very good. Okay, so if we don't have questions, we can leave it here. We will, in theory, we have recorded the session, so we will upload it to ProBleu YouTube channel. So if you want to take it a look after this session, you can go. Maybe we'll share it with you in the chat. And I see there is a question about the ProBleu new application deadlines. ProBleu is finishing in May. We are at the end of the project, so all the funding it's been used for the schools. But we have sister projects. We are not the only project working on Blue Schools and funding, on giving funding to schools. We have Short sister project and Blue Lights sister project. Short is also at the end of the project, but Blue Lights will open a call for projects for schools in September, October. So I recommend you to check Blue Lights website, because they are offering, I think it's 2,000 or 2,500 euros per school project. So you can try to apply, and let's see if you are funded. This is important because also if the European Commission sees that the schools are very interested on this kind of projects, maybe they can support new projects that can continue with the work that we have done.
Yes, just to clarify, if you have been awarded with a grant from ProBleu or Shore or Blue Lights, that are the projects that were funding this kind of projects, you cannot apply for the other one. So if the person that was asking when is the funding opening again is a teacher from a ProBleu school already, unfortunately, you cannot apply for Blue Lights funding. Just be aware of that. But in any case, if you are part of the Blue Schools network, you will be contacted. If you subscribe for the information and so on, it's easier to know and to be aware for the new funding opportunities. So we encourage you all to apply to be a Blue School, and yeah, being a member of this network, it would be easier also to follow up on these funding opportunities.
Yeah, and don't forget to introduce citizen science in your Blue School projects because, as you have seen, it's a really interesting tool that can engage your students a lot and make your Blue School project a little bit different of the common or the more typical projects. Okay. So thank you for attending the meeting and let's be in contact. Don't forget to follow us in our social media and on our YouTube channel. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.